In this video, I'll walk you through the number one reason why 99% of people fail in remote sales and never make their first 10K per month doing it. And no one else really talks about this online, which is why I'm making this video, because it's so important for you to understand. And most people don't even know about this. Most people have never heard about this one thing that you need to have in place in order to actually make a lot of money doing remote high-ticket sales. And if you don't understand this, you're always going to be stuck. You're always going to be wondering why some people are making all this money, are making like 10, 20, 30K a month in remote sales, while you're making like 2 to 5K a month. And I'm saying this because I was that person. I was the guy who was like pretty good at sales at a certain extent, and still making like 3, 4, 5K a month, stuck and seeing other people with the same kind of skills that I had making so much more money. And I made this shift that I'm gonna explain to you in this video. Everything changed for me. I was able to start making well over 10K a month. Now I've gone on to make multiple 6 figures in this industry, and also helped a lot of other young guys to do the exact same thing by implementing this exact step-by-step framework that I will share with you in this video for making a lot of money in remote sales. So let's get into it. The thing you need to understand first off, is to give you a bit of a backstory here, is that most people have the misconception that in order to make more money in remote sales or in sales in general, that the only way to do that is by number one, getting better at the skill set, and number two is working longer hours. That's what I thought when I got into it as well, because the first offer that I was working for when I got into remote sales, it was an offer where I was making between 3 to 5K a month, and the path that I saw in front of me, the only way that I really saw for me to be able to scale up to 7, 9K a month, was just putting in more hours, working harder and improving my skill set a bit. I was already fairly good. I wasn't the best of the best, but I was fairly good, but I wasn't making more money. And I was seeing other people on other offers that I thought were worse than me, but they were making way more money than I was making. We're talking 2, 3, 4x the money that I was making. And I was like, how can these other people be making so much more money than I am? And it all came down to a very simple reason. It's not about how hard you row. It's not about how hard and how good you are. It's about what boat you're in. That's a quote by, I think it's by Warren Buffett, that has so much and applies so much to remote sales. Because the thing is, you will see in this industry, some people that you wonder how they even got into this space, they're not actually that good at sales. But they're in a boat, they're in an offer, they're working for a business that has insanely good marketing, that has a super, super good personal brand, a strong influencer behind it, really, really good lead flow, a lot of people to speak to on a daily basis. And when an offer has all those things in place, your ability to make money becomes it gets on easy mode. That's the only way to put it. You just make a shit ton of money. And if you combine that with your skills being fairly well, that's when you see people make 30, 50K a month. So then the question is how do we get into offer like that? How do you actually find a 7, 8, even 9-figure business to actually go sell for that has a strong personal brand and can actually allow you to make all that money? Because we understand for you to make a lot of money, you need to be good. You need to have a core understanding of sales. You need to somewhat know what you're doing on your calls. But even if you can be the 10 out of 10, the best salesperson ever, if you're good, but you're in a shit offer that doesn't have good lead flow, that doesn't have good marketing, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're going to be stuck. It's going to be hard for you to get to the goals that you have. And I'm saying this because that's what happened to me. That's what happened for me for a long time. I was just stuck, trying to figure stuff out, not making really any good money whatsoever. And then I made the shift of just getting on a better offer. And I started working with a guy that you might know, a pretty big guy online that has an 8-figure business, a big personal brand on YouTube and on Instagram that you're probably pretty familiar with. I'm not gonna tell you who it is because of privacy stuff and things like that, but I worked for him, and doing that changed the game for me. I went from an offer that had kind of mid-marketing, kind of okay offer, nothing crazy, making 3, 5K a month, switched over to his company, and all of a sudden I was making 10K a month. My skill set did not 2x or 3x during that time period, which is because I was in a better vehicle, in a better boat. So I'm gonna come to in a second of how I actually did that and how you can actually do the same thing. But first off, you need to understand that stop looking for ways of getting better and making more money by just improving your sales skills in your current offering and working harder. Understand that the thing that matters the most is just which boat you're in, and being in the optimal boat that's gonna make you way more money than anything else you could even think of. So when it comes to actually doing that, the funny thing is for you to actually get into a better offer and actually make more money in remote sales, it all comes the first thing is you need to be good. You don't need to have 10 years of sales experience and be the best salesperson ever. But you need to have that confidence, because if you come to like a 7-8 figure like big personal brand business that actually has the potential for you to make a lot of money, and you're not good, like you're kind of insecure, you're not very confident, you don't really understand sales principles, those people will see through that 100%. And one of the biggest things that helped me like land that role with that 8-figure business that I've been working with for a while now was basically just being certain, being confident. And that's something that I think that you need to have in place. You need to go through that, whatever it is, if it's role playing and like practicing and getting confident, reading up on sales principles and like actually applying those, you need to go through that process. It could literally be a couple of weeks. It doesn't have to be a crazy long process, but you need to become certain. I see so many people, they struggle to get into roles, they have these opportunities to interview with really good businesses, but because they're not confident, because they're not certain in themselves and like how, like their skill set, how to show up and things like that, they struggle to land a role. And that's the worst thing. Like imagine if you have an opportunity to like work with a 7-8 figure business where you could literally be making 20K a month, but you don't land that role because you haven't gone through like just a couple of weeks of training, you know? So that's super, super key. You just need to like have that in place. And number one, understand that you need to become certain, confident, because how you show up on that interview with the potential business and how you reach out to them, how you carry yourself, how your energy, your drive, things like that, that's gonna be huge for landing a role like that. Because when it comes to the outreach, that's pretty much like the easy part. You can find these business owners like everywhere on Instagram, YouTube, and the way to actually get in contact with them is basically just finding unique ways. You know, reach out to them, build relationships, reach out to the sales managers. If you can find, let's say, as an example, you find some like big business owner. You know, maybe like I don't know, Alex Hermosi, Alex Becker, Grant Cardone. Someone has a big business. Figure out who is the sales manager. You know, instead of reaching out and DMing like Grant Cardone, he's not going to reply to you, obviously. Instead of doing that, reach out to someone that's kind of like below him in the business that has like a smaller Instagram or email address or Facebook, message them. That's a very powerful way to actually get in touch with big businesses and get your foot in the door, you know? And then when you get on the interviews, you do what I just told you to do. And then after that, you just need to like show up in a way that shows that you want this role. Even if you don't have any experience, even if you don't have a crazy track record, which I did not have when I got into my first like 8-figure business role. What I did was basically just go all in on showing how hungry and how driven I was to be able to show up in the role and actually get good results. Because that's the thing that you have that most people don't have. Most people that have like 5-10 years of experience that you're gonna be competing against when you're interviewing, the thing that they don't have is, because they have a track record, you don't, which means that you have everything to prove. You have to show up, you have to perform, that's also your selling point on the call. And this is literally the principles that landed me all these roles that I've been in. Like it's made me multiple 6 figures in this industry. It's just showing hunger, showing drive, and showing commitment. Not just saying it with like this monotone, like half like dead or half asleep tonality. You need to show it. You know how I'm speaking right now. Like have that conviction in yourself that like I'm here to help you guys win. I want to get better. I want to grow. I really want this. You know. Have that come through in how you speak on your calls, and I promise you will land the roles that you could never even imagine that you could have landed otherwise. And this is the stuff that's going to change the game. Because if you can get into a business like this, if you can get into a business like I've helped multiple guys inside of my one-on-one coaching get into businesses where like even if they're a complete beginner, I work with guys that are literally like 19 years old, no previous sales experience, help them get into roles with them not having any previous experience, but because they got into a good offer, they're now making really, really good money, having a life of like a lot of freedom because they was able to get into a good offer, you know, where the sales process is simple. They're talking with very warm customers, you know, they're getting a lot of leads on their calendar. If you haven't experienced this, like it's kind of like a new way of working. It's like, I would call it almost like there's 2 different worlds of remote sales. There's like these roles where you're like grinding away to trying to make your like 3 to 5K a month, is hustling and working long hours and like pushing yourself. That's like version number A. And then person number B, or like version number B of remote sales, is when you're on offer like this, you know. When you work for a big influencer, your calendar is filled up, stacked up with calls every single day. You talk with people that already know that they want to buy. You just need to overcome some objections and basically just help them make the decision for themselves to move forward. Like it's a completely different ball game, completely different. Like you don't need to talk to people and like hard close people and like convince people that don't want to buy. You're not having to work like 10, 12 hours per day and take a crazy amount of calls. That's what life has been looking like me for recently. Like I've been working with a big influencer that's allowed me to literally work 4 to 6 hours per day while making well over, like at this point, over 15K per month consistently just by taking sales calls for him. And I'm talking with people that already trust him, they already want to buy, they just have some questions, we run through that, close the deal. It's way more enjoyable as well. It's way more fun to work that way because you're not this like sleazy salesperson, like hard closing people. You're just having conversations. It's way more high level as well because you're focused on human psychology, understanding people, coaching people, helping people overcome limiting beliefs and step up and make decisions to change their life. That's what true like high ticket closing and high ticket sales is really about. And that's when this game just can become so much more fun. And just one last thing I want to mention here that's really like kind of spark your like motivation and things like that. It's like when you get to that level, when you work in these high level businesses, the landscape changes completely. That's when you can get to a point where you can jump into any company, because when you work with these big names at the top of this game, the companies that are making like 7, 8, 9 figures, they all know each other, So if you've been selling for, let's say, like this one big influencer and someone else is looking for a sales rep, some other like company, it's gonna be so easy for you to like hop over to like other people that are at the same level as him because of the fact that you've worked with this guy, you have the track record and like you have the proof that you work with this specific guy. So keep that in mind. Like on the other side of this, it's obviously takes hard work. Reach out to businesses, interviewing, getting confident in sales, getting certain, all that stuff. It takes hard work. But remember that on the other side of this is literally everything that you ever dreamt of, being able to wake up in the morning, have 4 6 calls per day, make well over 10K a month. If you want to change offer, you can change offer. Like everything is, the grass really is greener when you get to that point. But the only way to get there is working hard. And if you want help with any of these things, if you want one-on-one coaching, like I mentioned before, I have a one-on-one coaching program where it's not just like a course, it's all about hand-holding, one-on-one, making you really, really confident in the skill set, helping you get connected with good businesses from my personal network, and making sure you can actually land good roles and make a lot of money doing this. If you want that help, accountability, and access to my network to crush it, like I've helped multiple other guys, click the link down below and you can hop on a call with me, we'll chat, see if you're a good fit for my inner circle, which is my one-on-one coaching program. And if you are, I can help you out. If not, no worries regardless. It's not going to be a high pressure sales call. It's just about figuring out like if it's a good fit. I only work with people regardless that are actually driven, that actually are a good fit for me and what I do. So if that's you, hop on or go down in the description with a call and I'll have to chat with you. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I reply to all DMs over there. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Ciao.